Sunflower in the Forest of Twisted Memories by Alberto Martín Tábara. Chapter 2. She's a Strange Girl. Sunflower carried me to her hut in the woods. It was surprisingly well built and looked sturdy. She set me down in front and helped me to the door. "I built it myself," she told me. "Do you like it?" I took note of the structure more in depth. The roof was made of sticks and straw wrapped in old rope. The siding seemed to be made out of nicely cut wooden planks, but there were no windows that I could see. Just a crudely built door held a little more on the right of the structure. Sunflower undid a latch on the door and opened it up. The first room was her bedroom. For someone who lives in the woods, everything was neatly decorated. The room was surrounded by proper drywall, painted a light green color. The bed in the middle seemed to just be a mattress with a blanket, pillows, and even a bed cover. There was a small table on the side of the bed and a beanbag in the corner next to the door. There was a small closet on the wall to the right. The whole room was illuminated by a small skylight in the ceiling. "How did you get all this stuff?" I asked Sunflower. "Salvaged material," she answered. Sunflower set me down on her bed. She walked through the door on the other wall to the left of the bed. I heard the sudden buzz of a light fixture, followed by the sound of the opening of a fridge. After a couple minutes it closed, and Sunflower came back from her supposed kitchen area. Sunflower had some Tupperware in her arms and set them on the bed. "Here, pick something to eat," Sunflower insisted. I opened up one of the boxes to see a meal of chicken, rice, and peas. "Wow, you live in luxury," I told her. "I have friends around who help," Sunflower said, sounding like she was enjoying being subtle. She got up and returned to her kitchen. I could hear her feet quickly slapping on the tile. After hearing some rustling around, she came back and gave me a fork. "Sorry it's gonna be cold. I can heat it up on my stove if you'd like me to," Sunflower offered. "That's okay," I said, taking the fork and starting to eat. "I like my food cold." Even at this point, I didn't even bother trying to keep remembering who I was or why I was there. I tried my best to enjoy the food I was given, being stared down by this random woman who swept me out of the sand. She's a strange girl. She somehow lives in a wasteland, but has a luxurious and cozy hut that she built by herself. She doesn't look that muscular, yet she's really strong. And she ought to be with how amazing her place looks. For someone who lives so nicely, she doesn't look like she bothers to comb her hair. Which reminded me, I stink like the raw sea. "Do you have a shower?" I blurted. My mouth was still full. I don't know what came over me, I just suddenly said it. Sunflower giggled. "Yeah, it's in the back. But you can eat first. Take your time." Sunflower took her hand and raised the Tupperware closer to my chin so I wouldn't spill my food. She must have taken note that I was a bit sluggish. "I've always wanted to take care of a lost boy. I don't really do much with other people around here," Sunflower said. I swallowed my food. "What other people are here?" Sunflower looked over at the door and stared at it longingly. "There used to be way more people. But they all just..." Sunflower paused and then looked back at me. "I could take you to meet them, but you should eat first. You look like you need to rest." I finished my food, with Sunflower staring at me the entire time. I handed her back the Tupperware. "Thanks for the food. It was good," I thanked her. "You're welcome. Do you still need to wash yourself?" Sunflower asked, strangely excitedly. "I'd like to," I said, feeling a little intimidated. Sunflower helped me off the bed and showed me into her kitchen. It looked to have the only window in the hut, but it was covered by a tree outside, barely letting any light come in. The room was illuminated by a single fluorescent light bulb on the ceiling. The kitchen was fully furnished, with some cabinets, a stove, sink, and a small fridge on the other end. The sink had a small mirror behind it. At the end of the kitchen, there was a single patio table and a chair. They both seemed dirty and weathered. I looked on the floor and was surprised to see how the entire kitchen floor was nicely tiled. "Did you build the kitchen cabinets yourself as well?" I asked Sunflower. "The stove and the fridge were brought in, but I did make the cabinets and drawers," she answered. "This is impressive. How do you get your power for the fridge and the light? How do you heat your stove?" The more I thought about how the hut was established, the more I felt astonished. I had a little bit of help for heating and power, but the rest was all me, Sunflower told me. She led me past the kitchen. The ceiling was only a foot from our heads. I almost felt like I should be crouching a little. In the back of the kitchen, there was another door. It led to a small square space with 2 doors to a storage closet, and the other went into the bathroom. The bathroom looked cramped. The shower took up most of the space, and the toilet sat in front of it, leaving only 2 feet of space between the wall and the toilet to get into the shower. Although on top of the toilet the towels hung. Sunflower conveniently had 2. "How do you do your laundry?" I asked her, wondering if she even washes her clothes. "There's a community wash for those things. If I feel lazy, I'll just wash them in the sink. I don't really have many clothes to begin with. But here's the shower. You can go ahead and get yourself all washed up. I have a second towel for you to use." Sunflower showed me where the towels hung and got one down for me. I didn't really need it, but she handed it to me anyway. Sunflower began to explain how the shower worked. "Just twist that knob and wait for the spout to spill. I'm sorry if it's cramped and not much water comes out, but it's all I have." Sunflower smiled at me as she reached for her bar of soap and handed it to me. What about shampoo?" I asked her. "I just use soap." Sunflower put the soap in my hand. "You can wear my other clothes when you're done, and I can wash your current clothes while you shower." "Okay." I looked down at the bar of soap. "I'm sorry it's not much. You probably come from somewhere way fancier than here, don't you?" Sunflower hung the towel back up for me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember where I came from. I don't know anything about from before you found me on the beach," I explained to her. "That's okay. You don't have to have all the answers. We can make new ones here for the time being." Sunflower smiled sweetly. "Enjoy your shower, and let me know if you need anything." Before long, I was washing myself in Sunflower's cramped shower while she washed my clothes in her kitchen sink. A small stream of water poured from a spout onto my body. The water was temperate. It wasn't warm, but it also wasn't cold. I kind of felt bad for Sunflower. She lived in a nice and small place, but what she had wasn't much. But I suppose she was happy enough. She seemed to be fine with what she got. After all, she built it all herself. She must be so proud of it all. I felt like it was up to me now to keep her company since she offered so much hospitality by this point. I couldn't stop thinking about how she could probably help me regain myself, or at least knew someone who did. I decided under that small stream of water that I would stay and find myself. But I would do it with the strange girl. Besides, she does know the place better than I do. After my shower, I wrapped myself up in the towel Sunflower gave me, and I found her in her bedroom, laying and reading from a book. She looked up at me and smiled. She bookmarked her page, closed her book, and got up from the bed. "Are my clothes washed?" I asked. "Yes, but they need to dry. Here." Sunflower went over to her closet. She had way more clothes than she let on. She pulled out some t-shirts and a pair of jeans, along with other types of pants. "I hope some of them fit." Sunflower laid a pair of sweatpants on the bed, along with a jacket. I took some of the clothes back into the bathroom to try them on. The jeans were too tight, but the sweatpants fit fine, and the jacket fit better than the t-shirt. I went back to the bedroom and gave Sunflower the clothes that didn't fit. "Thank you." "It's no problem. It's a tough world out here. We just gotta make do with what we got." Sunflower put her clothes back in the closet. She then turned to me and came up to take my hand. "I want to show you around. There are people here who might want to meet you." "Might?" I asked. Sunflower looked up at the skylight and must have taken some time to think about what time of the day it was. She looked back at me. "Maybe tomorrow. Okay?" she told me. "Okay," I replied. I looked up to the skylight as well. It was getting darker. "Where will I sleep?" I asked Sunflower. "With me. In my bed. Unless you want to take the beanbag," Sunflower offered. Her bed looked more comfortable than the beanbag, but I just met her today. I didn't know if I wanted to sleep in the same bed as someone I barely knew. I'm in this rut now. I'm not sure when I'll get out of it. If I'm able to survive, I might as well make the most of it. I just really hoped she didn't try to cuddle me while I slept with how touchy she's been. I went ahead and agreed. I'll take the bed with you." "Okay." As long as you're okay with that. Sunflower let go of my hand. I forgot she was still holding it this whole time. I am. I gave her a tired smile. Sunflower got her bed ready for the night and organized her room a bit. I sat in the beanbag, feeling tired. The beanbag was actually quite comfortable, more comfortable than I thought it would be. I should have taken the beanbag for the night. Sunflower grabbed my arm and helped me into bed. She didn't need to, but she did anyway. She was very excited all day to not be alone. I thought she was weird, but she's just been living in her own little hut for who knows how long. I couldn't blame her for taking so much excitement towards my sudden existence in her life. Of course she keeps touching and holding me. She's just by herself. For her sake, I began to hope I would be able to stay a while longer. It got dark quickly. I stayed awake for a while despite my fatigue. I laid on my back, staring at the night sky shining through the skylight. It was so cozy. I was glad to have chosen the bed. I'm not sure where you come from or how long you'll be here, but I hope you'll like it here for as long as you stay, Sunflower whispered to me. She was also laying on her back, staring at the skylight. I have a feeling I'll be here for a while. I don't even know who I am. I don't know where I came from. If I have to start a completely new life here, I feel like I'll have no other choice, I whispered back to Sunflower. That wouldn't be so bad, would it? Sunflower guessed. If I can never find myself again, it doesn't matter, I replied. Do you know where you come from, Sunflower? I asked her. No, she replied. I just know that I'm here. Do you think you'll ever find out? I closed my eyes. I like to think so. I heard nothing but her soft voice. I fell asleep. End of chapter 2.